Along with other states, Rajya Sabha election for the Solidarity seat from Nagaland all set to be held at the Conference Hall of Nagaland Legislative Assembly on March. The members of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly to fill one vacant seat in the Council of the States following retirement of KG Kenye on April 2. Naga Mothers Association accepts March 9 resolution to hold the urban local body elections with 33% reservation to women. NMA expresses gratitude for adopting the resolutions as per the 74th Amendment of the Constitution of India. Dimapur Ao Youth Organization states creation of new districts in Nagaland should realize the economic aspirations and opportunities for the common people by taking advantage of the SARFACI Act. In a major step in fighting against COVID-19, Centre plans to vaccinate all adults above 60 years of age with precaution dose starting from March 16. Taking down to Twitter, Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia says expanding the vaccination program Centre also brings children in the age group of 12 to 14 years. Government of India decides to temporarily relocate Indian embassy in Ukraine to Poland. The development comes owing to the rapidly deteriorating security situation in Ukraine, including the western parts of the country. Good evening, viewers. You're watching English Primetime News. This is Sasan. Let's have a look at the details now. Rajya Sabha election is all set to be held on March 31 at the Conference Hall NLA by the members of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly to fill one seat in the Council of the States on the retirement of KG Kenye on April 2. Notably, the nomination papers will be delivered by a candidate or his proposer to the returning officer or the assistant returning officer at room number 65, Nagaland Legislative Assembly Secretariat between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. on any day other than public holiday, not later than 21st March 2022. Furthermore, forms of nomination paper may be obtained at the place and times aforesaid, while the nomination paper will be taken up for scrutiny at 12 noon on 22nd March 2022 at the office of the returning officer. Furthermore, notice of withdrawal of candidature may be delivered by a candidate or his proposers or his election agent who has been authorized in writing by the candidate to deliver it to the either of the officers specified at his office before 3 p.m. on the 24th March. Chief Minister Nltv on Sunday met the Union Minister of Tribal Affairs, Arjun Munda, in New Delhi. Chief Minister Rio, taking down to Twitter, mentioned that they had a fruitful discussion regarding welfare schemes under the Ministry for the State of Nagaland. Furthermore, Rio mentioned that he was grateful to Munda for his concern and continued support. Higher Education and Tribal Affairs Minister Tumtun Imna Alung on Sunday met Union Minister of State, Ministry of Development of Northeast Region B.L. Verma at his residence in the presence of Technical Education and Elections Advisor Medo Yokha. Alung, taking down to Twitter, mentioned that they had a fruitful and productive discussion on infrastructural development of Nagaland. He further expressed his gratitude to Minister for his valuable time and suggestions. The Naga Mothers Association has accepted the March 9 resolution to hold the urban local body elections with 33% reservation to women. The NMA in a press note expressed gratitude to the Chief Minister, UDA Chairman, Deputy Chief Minister, leaders of tribe organizations, Gaunburas, civil societies and political parties for adopting the resolutions as per the 74th Amendment of the Constitution of India, and hoped that the long overdue municipal polls will be held peacefully to ensure development of the towns and municipalities. They also stated that the NMA has already withdrawn the petition in 2017 after the written agreement by the state government to hold the municipal polls. NMA stated that they were no longer the petitioners in the ongoing case. Furthermore, NMA also extended gratitude to the People's Union for Civil Liberties for their legal intervention for Naga women's constitutional rights. The Governor of Nagaland institutes an award to encourage students in Nagaland to excel in the study of basic sciences. The award will be known as Governor Excellence Award in Science Study of HSSLC examination. It has been further notified that the award will be given to the best 6 students in science stream with a subject combination of physics, chemistry, mathematics and physics, chemistry and biology, with mathematics and biology subject as the main elective subject. Notably, a cash award of Rs 1 lakh will be given to the students securing the highest mark, which will be based on merit basis, followed by a cash prize of Rs 50,000 and Rs 25,000 to the second and third position respectively. To qualify for the students for the award, students must belong to an indigenous scheduled tribe of Nagaland and must be entitled only one award either in PCM or BCB category. The students should also secure 80% or more in their aggregate to avail the award, and the award shall be a one-time only. In case of tie in the marks and aggregate, whosoever secures the highest mark in the external marks of PCM or PCB will be considered. Agricultural Students Association of Nagaland in a press release on Monday stated that they stand firm by the steps taken by Combined Technical Association of Nagaland to curb the illegal appointment in the Department of Soil Conservation. ASAN also sought immediate determination of Avili Nagi and H. Agapi Yeptomi before 30th March 2022, who has both been holding the post of Junior Soil Conservation Officer through contract, which is meant to fall within the ambit of NPSC. It was further noted that the two incumbents have been depriving the rights of the eligible candidates for a long time despite numerous representations being submitted to the department. ASSC reiterates the department to consider the situation and expedite the matter at the earliest. ASAN further stated that they will see to it that the careers of the hard-working aspirants would not be put at stake by few corrupt mongering people, and also implored the general masses to fight for what is right and just. A massive fire broke out at Nagaland district on Monday, whereby a wide range of forest was destroyed. Reportedly, the incident took place at around 12 to 12:30 in the afternoon. The fire spread across rapidly due to dry grass and wind. It is to be mentioned that the locals of the area tried their best to douse the fire. No casualties have been reported, while the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. The Dimapur Our Youth Organization stated that the creation of new districts in Nagaland should realize the economic aspirations and opportunities for the common people by taking advantage of the SARFACI Act. The organization, in a press release issued through its medical cell, stated that India has embarked upon a developmental decentralized policy through the creation of more districts so that there is equitable access to government's programs, policies and schemes even in the remotest parts. The organization, however, lauded the decision of the government of Nagaland to create the new 2 districts of Tsiminu and Shamator, keeping in mind tribal sensibilities, however maintained that the decision should have its logical conclusion without bias. On the other hand, Dayo supported the proposed district demarcation and urged the government to implement the same without further delay. Inter-high school tournament for Kohima district in the discipline of football, boys and girls, badminton boys and girls and table tennis boys and girls is all set to begin from 6th to 9th April 2022 at Indira Gandhi Stadium and Indoor Stadium Kohima. Notably, the Department of Youth Resources and Sports is organizing the tournament and it is open to all the high schools and middle schools under the district of Kohima. It is to be mentioned that the interested candidates can collect the registration form from the Directorate of YR&S during office hours. Furthermore, the last date of submission of the form is March 26. Inter-high school tournament for Kohima district in the discipline of football, boys and girls, badminton, boys and girls and table tennis, boys and girls is all set to begin from 6th to 9th April 2022 at Indira Gandhi Stadium and Indoor Stadium Kohima. Notably, the Department of Youth Resource and Sports is organizing the tournament and it is open to all the high schools and middle schools under the district of Kohima. It is to be mentioned that the interested schools can collect the registration form from the Directorate of YR&S during office hours. Furthermore, the last date of submission of the form is March 26. A flagging off of farm mechanization equipment program was held at Aida Don Bosco campus on Monday, whereby farm mechanization equipment was distributed among 5 villages that are Krizefire, Dizefise, Titrongse, Ura and Bate. Notably, the flagging of farm mechanization equipment is an initiative which is under the scheme of SBI Gram Seva program. It may be mentioned that the AGM of SBI Dimapur branch, Abinash Hembrom, graced in as the guest of honor, while Deputy Commissioner of Dimapur, Rajesh Saundara Rajan, graced the program as the chief guest. Furthermore, while addressing the gathering, chief guest lauded and congratulated Aida for taking up new initiatives. He further encouraged the gathering to replace traditional farming and cultivation with new scientific ways of farming. The DC also encouraged the farmers to have patience and adopt a proper long-term planning. Aida Convergence Officer Mon Lumi Izung was the computer of the program, whereby DC Rajesh Saundara Rajan flagged off the farm mechanization equipments.
Amagan to poila to amagan itu agriculture to family de to 7-8 बच्चा था कि वो उठो दे तो बच्चा दंगोर ऑफिस थे सब खाली नागालैंड थे ना सब स्टेट थे अमी तो तमिलनाडु पूरा से तमिलनाडु तो भी नहीं गए थे किसे तो दूसरा दंगो स्टेट थे भी नहीं गए से गोरते किमान मोटा कान था कि वो मैगी कान भी था कि वो इटो था कान सब amagan खेती थे जाबो खेती थे जाएगी ना काम करी वो और इनिका इटो की amagan इटो क्रॉप्स amagan करी था क्या amagan सब जाएगी ना काम करी वो पहले भी एतिया तो आजिला टाइम थे तो population भी आमकान इटू family members भी पहला तो 7-8 बच्चा था कि वो इत्या तो 3-4 है अरु इत्या तो सब मनु तो agriculture ते भी नहीं मनुकान तो इटू दूसरा occupation ते भी जाए तो खेती कोरा मनुकान तो कमती हुए से तो दोस्ता मनु काम करिए ना ताका खेती ते आजिकली तो 2 या 3 काम करी बोले देखे तो इटू टाइम ते तो आमकान इटू मनु agriculture ते डायरेक्ट इटू काम करा मनु तो कमती हुआ करने तो आमकान इटू किनी का रिप्लेस करिबो इटू फार्म मेकनाइजेशन ना तकिले तो आमकान तो इटू तो काम तो ना परिबो किला मने मनु कमती हुए से एग्रीकल्चर ते तो मनु के कॉम्पेंसेट करी बोले तो आमकान तो मशीन चुला बोले ओलाबो इटू करने फार्म मेकनाइजेशन तो इम्पोर्टेंट है आमकान साइंटिफिक वे ऑफ फार्मिंग कोई साइंटिफिक वे आमकान किले साइंटिफिक वे ऑफ फार्मिंग कोई साइंटिफिक वे माने खाली इटू फार्म मेकनाइजेशन नहीं इटू फार्म मेकनाइजेशन भी एक तो इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है एक तरह से और आमकान दूसरा की साइंटिफिक वेस इतिया इटू अजे इटू ऑर्गेनिक करी बोले भी की करी बोले भी साइंटिफिक वेस किया से आमकान इटू चला बोले साइंटिफिक वे ऑफ फार्मिंग करी से बोले तो आमकान ला आउटपुट आमकान किमान था किसे इटू पूरा भी आरु धांगर आउटपुट बनाबो परिबो
The current Chief Minister of Manipur and Biren Singh took oath as a member of the Legislative Assembly in Manipur on Monday. Notably, the MLAs were administered the oath of office and secrecy by Zoro Kaibam Rajan Singh, who took oath as the Protem Speaker of the Manipur Assembly on Sunday. Furthermore, Singh, taking down to Twitter, mentioned that he is privileged and honored to have sworn in as a member of the 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly at the Assembly Hall in Imphal. It may be mentioned that Singh had submitted his resignation letter as Chief Minister to Governor Satya Pal Malik, who asked him to continue in his office until the new government takes charge. The Congress accused the BJP of using Kuki rebel outfits to garner votes in the Manipur in the recent concluded assembly polls. Notably, the Congress, which has emerged as the single largest party, winning 28 seats out of the 60-member House in the 2017 assembly polls, could grab just 5 seats this time. On the other hand, Congress leader and Manipur in charge, Bhakta Charan Das, alleged and management of EVM's Election Commission, the state administration and election officials, including presiding officers, behind the party's poor performances. Thus, further alleged the BJP of using Naga rebel outfits to keep them in power. The central government has announced plans to expand the program of COVID-19 vaccination to include 12 to 14 years age group along 15 to 17 years age group beginning from March 16. Government sources claim that the estimated population of this age group in India is believed to be around 7.11 crore. It has been further notified that the younger adolescents will be offered Corbevax, a Hyderabad-based biological E, and this vaccine is to be administered in 2 doses with 28 days apart. Health Ministry claims that the decision has been taken following due deliberations with scientific bodies, and those born in 2008 to 2010 will also now be eligible for shots against COVID-19. Importantly, the government has also decided that the condition of comorbidity for COVID-19 precaution dose for population over 60 years of age will now be removed from March 16. Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare, Mansukh Mandavia, relating to this matter, took to Twitter stating that vaccination for children from age 12 to 14 will be administered from March 16. He also urged the senior citizens above 60 years to get their precautionary vaccine doses. The BJP will form governments in the 4 states it won in the recently concluded elections after Holi, that is in March 18. Reportedly, the chief ministers for Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Goa and Manipur will be chosen after the festival. The party is coordinating between states to organize swearing-in ceremonies in such a way that senior leaders can comfortably attend them in all 4 states. Furthermore, a meeting of the MLAs has been called in Uttarakhand and will be supervised by senior party leader Dharmendra Pradhan and Piyush Goyal the day after Holi. Meanwhile, BJP has called a parliamentary party meeting on Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the party's MPs. Punjab Chief Minister designate Bhagwan Mann on Monday tendered his resignation from the membership of Lok Sabha to Speaker Om Birla. It may be mentioned that Mann has been an MP from the Sangrur constituency in Punjab. Furthermore, on his last day in the House as an MP, Mann said he will miss this House and that Punjab has given him a huge responsibility. He further said that the promise to the people of Sangrur that a bold voice for them will echo soon in the House. It is to be mentioned that Mann, who was the party's chief ministerial candidate, will take the oath of office on March 16 at freedom fighter Bhagat Singh's native village of Khatkar, Kallan. Meanwhile, he has invited Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party national convener Arvind Kejriwal to the oath-taking ceremony. The G23 Congress leaders reiterated their demand for leadership reforms at the Congress Working Committee meeting, which was held on Sunday. During the meeting, G23 leader Ghulam Nabi Azad said that he is shocked and that his heart breaks seeing the defeat of the party from state to state. Meanwhile, G23 leaders Anand Sharma and Shashi Tharoor also backed Azad and reiterated for the leadership reforms in the Congress party. Tharoor said that it is time to reaffirm the idea of India that the Congress has stood for and the positive agenda it offers the nation, and to reform the organizational leadership in a manner that will reignite those ideas and inspire the people, and stated that one thing is clear, that change is unavoidable if we need to succeed. Furthermore, Congress Interim President Sonia Gandhi said in the meeting that if the CWC members feel that the party is being weakened because of the Gandhi family, they are ready to make all kinds of sacrifices. It may be mentioned that the 5-hour-long Congress Working Committee meeting saw around 52 senior Congress leaders holding a detailed discussion on the election results of the recently concluded assembly elections in 5 states.
कांग्रेस कार्य समिति ने सर्वसम्मति से श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी के नेतृत्व में अपने विश्वास की पुनः पुष्टि की और कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष से अनुरोध किया कि वे आगे बढ़ पार्टी का नेतृत्व और मजबूती से करें एवं आवश्यक तथा व्यापक संगठनात्मक बदलाव करें तथा राजनीतिक चुनौतियों का सामना करने के लिए संगठन की सभी कमजोरियों को दूर करें। कांग्रेस कार्य
In a tragic incident, 5 Indian students have been killed in a road accident in Canada's Ontario province. The accident between a passenger van and a tractor-trailer took place on Saturday on Highway 401 in the Quinte West City in southern Ontario. The victims were aged between 21 and 24 years. 2 other passengers were taken to a nearby hospital with serious injuries following the crash. The police stated that an investigation into the accident was underway, even though no charges have been laid. The police informed that they were all students in the Greater Toronto and Montreal areas. High Commissioner of India to Canada, Ajay Bisaria, termed the incident a heartbreaking tragedy, and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also expressed his condolences in a tweet. The government of India on Sunday decided to temporarily relocate the Indian embassy in Ukraine to Poland. The development came owing to the rapidly deteriorating security situation in Ukraine, including the western parts of the country, and the government's assessment that all the stranded Indians in Ukraine have been evacuated. Notably, the embassy had already closed its operations in capital Kyiv on March 1 and relocated staff to live near the Polish border, where many Indians seeking to leave Ukraine had converged. Meanwhile, another team of embassy staff had moved eastwards to coordinate the evacuation of Indians, mostly students, out of Kharkiv and Sumy, which were part of the initial conflict zones in the east. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday urged the North Atlantic Treaty Organization to impose a no-fly zone over his country or see its member states attacked by Russia. Notably, his virtual address comes a day after 35 people were killed and more than 130 injured when Russian troops launched airstrikes on a military training ground near the border with NATO members Poland. The Ukrainian president also said that he had warned NATO that without preventive sanctions, Russia would begin a war and that Moscow would use Nord Stream 2 as a weapon. At least 2 people died and 7 were injured on Monday after Russian forces shelled at the Antonov aircraft plant in Kyiv on Monday, while another person was killed after a residential building was fired upon. Tweeting about the attack, the Ukrainian parliament said that about 70 people were evacuated from the scene. So viewers, that's all we have up now in the bulletin. Keep watching Nagaland TV for more news and updates. Kuknalim.
Nagaland TV, Sop Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapur viewers, we are on channel number 10 in Global Chapter, and for Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number